What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson, today joined by my co-host, Will Cohen. It is an exciting time of the year. The Rangers have clinched a postseason berth. Um, they are currently the only team in the NHL that has done so far. So as of right now, we're the Stanley Cup favorites of all the teams that have made the playoffs. That is confirmed to be changing tonight, though, because throughout tonight's set of games, there are 7 potential teams that could also clinch the playoffs tonight. I know that Dallas and Vancouver could both clinch with a win against each other. So no matter what, we won't be the only one by the end of the night. But as of right now, like I said, it is a great time of the year. It's time for Rangers fans to go crazy, try to tell us that they want to lose some games to play certain people. But at the end of the day, I think me and Will are in agreement. Really, all we really want is just home ice advantage, and we can take on anyone. But we'll get into like our whole predictions on how we think the rest of the season is going to go, who we might end up playing, and all that good jazz. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me and Will that you just want us to win out and get the highest seed possible? Or is there maybe a team out there that you might prefer to play in the first round over some other ones? But lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. And one more thing, everyone, drop a good boy down in the comments for Will's dog in the background there.
Bingo deserves he's a very good boy.
Yeah, but before we really get into it, Will, how are you doing today, my friend?
Yankees opening day today. I'm excited, and the Rangers clinched the playoffs 2 days ago. It's been a good week for sports. I'm happy.
It has been a good week for sports, New York sports in particular. We didn't get to make a video about the subject, but Artemi Panarin did hit the 100-point mark for the first time in his career. First Ranger to do so since Jaromir Jagr back in 2005. So congrats, Panarin. We love you. I would make a whole video about it, but we've made content.
I could literally talk about this season for him all day long. I really could.
Yeah, well, we've made a few episodes throughout the season discussing potentially him being a Hart finalist, and I think we might need to bring that up one more time moving forward before the regular season comes to an end. But we'll talk about that in a potential future episode. Let us know in the comments if you want that. But so let's talk about it, right? Rangers currently remain as the number 1 team in the Metropolitan Division, as they have been since I think November 24th. It's been quite a long time since they've held the number 1 spot. It might have been October 24th, one of the two.
It was October 24th.
Yeah, pretty much the entire season. They have led the division. But, things are quickly changing after the trade deadline happened. Carolina has certainly kicked it up a notch, and they are coming in hot. They are only 3 points behind the Rangers right now, but the Rangers do have 1 game in hand. Obviously, the Rangers won the season series against Carolina by 2-1. So if in the eventual end up in a tie, the Rangers would still prevail on top of them. But, with the Rangers being first in the Metropolitan Division right now, they also lead the Eastern Conference and the entire NHL. So if the playoffs start today, that would have us facing off against the wild card 2 in the East, which happens to be the Washington Capitals right now. And that sounds fine to me. I'm more than happy about that. But I know there's a lot of people that have said, and I myself agree to a certain extent, that I really don't want to play Tampa. Tampa always beats us, and I know this season's a lot different. The Rangers are much, much better than Tampa, as they've proven throughout the season, but I would still just like to avoid them as much as possible. But, at the end of the day, get home ice is the most important thing. I've heard people say that they want Carolina to catch up.
Hell no. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
And it's like, I get it because, you would get to play Philly, but then you're risking home ice for the rest of the playoffs. So exactly. I disagree with that. But how are you feeling about if the playoffs started today against Washington?
I mean, I'd feel fine. They are playing very good hockey right now. And sorry, Bingo's eating a freaking bag. Charlie Lindgren's kind of had our number this year, but can you stop? The playoffs are a completely different game. Obviously a lot faster, and the Rangers are going to be playing a lot harder and more physically. So I think that they'd have the upper hand in that series. But the Capitals also surprised a lot of people this year, and they could maybe even surprise some people in the playoffs. But I think I'd be okay with us playing with the Capitals. I mean, I really don't care who we play in the first round because it's the playoffs. You have to play four teams. Doesn't matter. You have to play four teams, and sometimes teams are harder to play than others, and you just got to do what you got to do. So I really don't care. But if the season ended today and we did play against the Capitals, that'd be an exciting series. I mean, when was the last time we played the Capitals in the playoffs?
Probably 2015 when
Yeah, it's been a long time. We've had some good battles. Like Ovi and Hank had some really damn good battles, in their career. And obviously Hank's not playing anymore. But I'd like to see Igor versus Countryman in the playoffs. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think another thing to note is if the Rangers do end up winning the division, they get to completely avoid the Atlantic Division up until the conference finals, which, we've said it a few times. The Metropolitan this year isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Rangers and the Hurricanes, but then after that, there's like a pretty steep fall off. But then you look at the Atlantic Division on the other hand, you got Boston, Florida, Toronto, Tampa, like a lot of good teams. And I would prefer to just avoid them as much as possible. And then, if we hopefully have home ice advantage moving forward. But let's talk about how we think it's going to end, because the Rangers do lead the division, like I said, by 3 points, 1 game in hand. How confident are we that we can maintain that lead? Because if I'm being completely honest with you, I think the Rangers can and will do it. Tonight, they play against the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. Going to be a really tough game tonight, obviously, without Lindgren and Trouba, and like the whole defensive core is just all over the place right now. It's going to be tough. But I also agree that tonight is the hardest game for the remainder of the season. I don't have the schedule pulled up, but as far as I remember, there's a couple games against Philly. I think maybe one against Columbus or someone. A lot of teams that I know that the Rangers are better than.
Yeah,
this is like the last game against the contender.
Yeah, we play the Coyotes, Penguins, Devils, Red Wings, Canadians, Islanders twice, Flyers, and the Senators. Well, Islanders, then the Flyers, and the Islanders again, then the Senators. So yeah, this game is easily the hardest in the last. How many games are there? There's 10 games remaining.
10 games left.
Yeah, this is the hardest of the 10 games that we have to play. So, I don't know. I mean, that Avs team is really good, but we beat them last time. What did we go into? We went into overtime with them, but we played pretty well against them. Obviously, it took us until the third period to score 2 goals, but I think we can hang with the Avalanche. I mean, we've been playing very well recently, and we're just as good of a team as them. Like, there's really no difference between the two teams except we have a better goaltender.
It's going to be a close one no matter what. And like, even if the Rangers do lose against Colorado tonight and the Hurricanes beat the Red Wings tonight, the Rangers still are leading them by a point. And then after tonight, you kind of go on cruise control for the remainder. Obviously, you don't want to like stop trying and all that, but you don't have to put like every like 2,000% effort into beating the Arizona Coyotes like you're going to have to tonight. And I don't know what Carolina's schedule looks like, but you can assume that they're going to keep winning games as well.
They played the Red Wings tonight, then they got the Canadians, they have the Bruins twice, Capitals, Blue Jackets, Blues, Blackhawks, and then Blue Jackets again. So I mean, they have a pretty easy schedule, but they do
against Boston.
They do have 2 games against Boston, and they did just lose. Did they lose to the Capitals? Yeah, they lost to the Capitals in a shootout, but that game went back and forth. So, I mean, you can't really say anything about that. That was a great game. I was like, me and my friend were texting about that. The Capitals would score, and then the freaking Hurricanes would score again. But they have the Bruins, so they have a harder schedule than us to end their season. But I think the Rangers can do it. I know that they can control this division. They control their lead in it and finish as a number 1 team.
Yeah, and even outside of the division, I'm looking at the conference standings right now. We also are a point ahead of Boston with 2 games in hand, 3 points ahead of Florida. Like the Rangers could realistically win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's possible because, like we said, with that, I don't want to say easy schedule, but like lighter than it's been for the last 2 weeks. Which, by the way, the Rangers have only lost 5 games over the last 2 months. Just want to put that out there. Um,
You'd think
against
the sky's falling with how Rangers Twitter talks about this team. You really would.
Sometimes I wake up and I start to panic, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we're gonna lose. This isn't our year." But then I look back at the schedule, and I'm like, "Nah, we're fine. Like we're chilling." I think the biggest question is though, do you want the Rangers to win the President's Trophy? We all know the curse.
I mean, I do believe in the curse, but at the same time, it's like I feel like this year, like when you see like previous President's Trophy winners, like they're going balls to the wall. Like I feel like the Rangers are kind of like going a little bit on cruise control with they scratched Cooley, gave him a rest. Like they're kind of on not on cruise control yet, but you know what I mean. Like they're kind of giving players rest already now, so it's like they're not really going balls to the wall. So like honestly, screw it. Win the President's Trophy. Make sure that all 4 rounds go through New York.
Yeah,
honestly,
I
just
know.
make sure.
Yeah, the other just this past weekend, I was over visiting Tony. You guys watching remember Tony, and we had a lengthy discussion about it because he wasn't familiar with the curse. I broke it down. I was like, whoever wins the President's Trophy never wins. So we came up with the most ideal situation in the world would be let the Vancouver Canucks win the President's Trophy. We take first in the East, second overall in the league. Vancouver just gets swept in the first round by whoever
And
they're playing.
then you get 4 rounds of home
4
ice.
rounds of home ice advantage, because you don't got to worry about it in the finals if you're the number 2 team, if the number 1 team's not even there. So
Exactly. No, yeah. You know what? Either win the President's Trophy or let that happen.
I guess I don't even care about like winning the President's Trophy.
Me
we
either.
you did it. We did it in 2015, and look where that got us.
I mean, yeah, it's cool to win that. Like, yeah, you have the best record in the league, but does it really matter? No, I really don't. It doesn't. It might not end up mattering. Like if you win it and win the cup, like there you go. It kind of does matter. It's like, oh, you won the President's Trophy in the cup, but if it doesn't really matter.
I don't even remember who won it last year. Was it Florida?
No, it was Boston won it last year. Florida won it the year before.
See, I don't even remember. It's such like an irrelevant trophy.
That's because
the season award.
Yeah, that's because the Bruins lost in the first round last year. Like they got completely outplayed the last couple games.
That did happen. Boston did have that historic season that just got burnt down in flames.
I think they got tired last year. I really think that's what it is. They got tired in the first round.
Yeah, we got to make sure that doesn't happen to the Rangers, which is why I like to see that players are starting to get some rest. Yeah. Cooley had the healthy scratch. I know Wenberg took last game off for personal reasons. Apparently, he had a baby.
Yep, he had a baby.
Congrats to the Wenbergs. That's like the 5th time we've had to congratulate a player this season on the birth of their child.
What was it? Mika Kreider had a kid. Panarin had a second kid. Dude, Fox got married. Like
everyone's up. Everyone is up right now.
Exactly. It's a special season. So
it is a special season on the 30th anniversary of everyone knows what happened in 1994. But no, I guess the last thing is just I'm thinking about who else isn't playing. Trouba and Lindgren have been injured.
Gustafsson.
Yeah. I'm pretty Lindgren and Trouba both skated at morning skate today. But I'm totally okay with letting them rest a few more games,
Yeah, me too.
Lindgren especially. Make sure that they are 100% ready to go.
There's oh, sorry. Well,
I was gonna say, I don't care. 10 games left, scratch them for 5. Let them sit for 5 games and play in the last 5.
There's no reason. Now that you've clinched, I guess there is still a reason to play, but they're playing fine without them. So until you have a reason that they need to come back in the lineup, give them rest and make sure that they are rested up for the playoffs, because obviously that's what we care about now is the playoffs.
Because we talk about the playoff seeding, who we want to play, where we want to go. But like you said earlier in the episode, at the end of the day, we're in the playoffs. We're gonna have to face off against 4 teams no matter what. And, who doesn't like a little challenge? You can't say you're the best team in the NHL by winning a Stanley Cup.
Exactly.
If you don't have a little fun along the way there, give me Boston round 1. Give me Carolina round 1. I don't know how it would be mathematically possible, but let's make it happen. Win. But yeah, that about wraps up all my thoughts on this. I don't know if you have anything left to say.
Yeah, I just think, I've seen over the past couple weeks, um, well, not the like a month ago, Ranger fans were saying how they wanted to see us lose. They wanted us to at least lose some games, finish second in the Metro, and get the Flyers. And I've been seeing, recently, I've seen a lot more fans jumping on the, let's win out and let's have 4 rounds of playoffs go through MSG, and that makes you really happy because I want to take the conference. I want to be the number one team. The playoffs needs to run through MSG for all 4 rounds, whether that's us winning the President's Trophy, or like you said, the Vancouver Canucks winning the President's Trophy and and then losing in an earlier round. But the playoffs need to run through MSG, and they just need. It doesn't matter who they play. They still, like we said, they have to play 4 teams. Just have please have the playoffs run through MSG. I'm begging for it.
Yeah, and the last thing I guess I'll say is just the fans, you need to have faith. I think the topic of a lot of our recent videos has just been calling out fans because, like you said, Rangers Twitter is all over the place. We've said it all season long. This season is different. It's historic. The Rangers are better than they've ever been. This is like the best team since that 1994 Stanley Cup winning team. So, no, there shouldn't be a reason why we want to lose to face an easier team. Give me the tough battles because, as we've proved all season long, we can win them. And I would rather just have home ice. Home ice is the number one thing we should be going for right now.
Exactly.
I don't
That's
want
the
to
number
see
one priority.
it all postseason. I want them to just be washed away by Carolina that we could face in round 2. Well, actually, I guess in a perfect world, Philly would beat Carolina. Then we could play Philly in round 2, but not round 1. We're going to take home ice advantage all playoffs long. But that about wraps up today's episode. Thank you to everyone for watching. I'm really curious to hear where everyone's opinions lie down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss notification, and be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers for daily updates and news. But until next time, have a good one, and
Let's go Rangers.
let's go Rangers.